Does it upset you that you aren't in the big three combo?
I think I am in the big three combo.
What big three combo?
The big three, man, you funny,
You're not in
man.
the. What you mean?
Funny,
You know
man.
the combo is Drake, Kendrick, and Cole. That's what it's always been.
So Big Sean was one of those artists that was quite big from 2010 onwards. A lot of people may have forgotten about him, but he has a couple of hits. Songs like Blessed and Mercy come to mind, and he was even involved in a career-defining moment, like the time Kendrick Lamar name-dropped Drake, J. Cole, and a number of artists on Control. Big Sean achieved a lot in his career, but recently, he dropped a freestyle where he talked about not being in the big three and how he always felt left out. And this freestyle comes after years of not releasing much music. So the question is, what happened to Big Sean? Why was he not included in the big three? And why did he shy away from music? So to answer these questions, we'll start at the beginning. What up guys, Ali here and welcome to Ali Talks Music. Add me on Instagram and Ali Talks Music as well. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into the video. So it's 2007 and Kanye drops his third studio album, Graduation. The album comes out at #1 on the Billboard 200 and sells almost 1 million copies in the first week. Not only that, 50 Cent drops his album on the same day and Kanye's album outperforms it, changing the landscape of hip-hop entirely. So 2007 is a very good year for Kanye, because not only did he tarnish 50 Cent's image, he also began nurturing new talent and signed an artist named Big Sean to his Good Music label. Now, according to Big Sean, this is how he met Kanye. So it's 2005 and Big Sean is trying to take rap seriously. He begins building a name in his hometown, but he needs that one thing, that one moment that will change his life. So one day, Big Sean hears that Kanye is going to be at a local radio station in Detroit. So he thinks to himself, this is my chance. If I can prove myself to Kanye, maybe he might sign me. So he goes to the radio station without a clear plan, but he knows that he has this one chance to change his life. As his fellow Detroit native would say, you only get one chance to not miss your chance to blow. So while Big Sean is at the radio station, he sees Kanye walking out and approaches him like, Yo Kanye, I'm a huge fan of your stuff. Do you mind if I freestyle for you for about 2 minutes? And initially Kanye is like, now's a bad time. I'm on my way out. But somehow Big Sean manages to convince Kanye to listen to his freestyle. He goes, I do it, yeah, boy, do it, boy, right? He raps for Kanye for about 10 minutes and doesn't get signed to Kanye's Good Music right away, but it happens 2 years later. So Big Sean gets signed and he immediately gets to work. He drops his debut mixtape in that year called Finally Famous Volume 1, the mixtape, and then he follows this up with another one called Finally Famous Volume 2, You Know Big Sean, around 2009. And in 2010 he drops another mixtape, one that spawns the non-charting single, What You Doing?
I don't have Verizon, man, I'm chilling with my cousins, cuz, and a couple of cool. What you doing?
So after years of hustling, Big Sean was finally ready to drop his debut album, and it comes out around 2011 called Finally Famous. The project then sells about 87,000 copies in the first week, and thanks to 3 singles, namely My Last, Marvin and Chardonnay, and Dance, which is really ass, Finally Famous eventually goes platinum.
I like, boy stupid, boy stupid, no stupid.
And it goes platinum about 8 years later. So Big Sean is at the height of his career. He's finally getting the recognition he always dreamed of. But then Drake does an interview with All Hip Hop and somehow drags Big Sean into a beef. See, in the interview, Drake is asked how he came up with his flow. The flow commonly referred to as #rap or the super duper flow. And if you don't know what that means, it's when a rapper goes, swimming in the money, come and find me, Nemo. Or another example is, so I'm on the grind, skateboard.
Sean is up in here.
Big Sean.
Big Sean, let me ask you this, man. What's your feeling with Drake?
Man, Drake is my homie, man. Yes, you know, he gave me a lot of credit because, you know, I came up with the rhyme scheme a lot of people thought he came up with. I call it the super duper flow, but it's the flow. He kind of made it more popular on that song Forever with him, Wayne, and Drake. It was kind of the one-word punchline. And I did it on my second mixtape I released like in '09. where I was like, I'm super duper trooper, used to the bottom, scuba. Or I just give him line after line after line after line, barcode. And he kind of took that and used it, you know, on his track. A lot of people thought he did it.
Right.
And, you know,
You're like, you stole my stuff.
No. But the thing is, he gave me credit for it like a real
Right.
G, man.
So when we hear Drake do kind of like that throwaway, you call it the super duper.
I call it the super duper flow.
All right. So
Yeah.
when we hear that, the flossing, he does so.
Yeah.
That's
All
you.
right.
And it's crazy because the whole rap game did it, man. So
You know
I
what I
was
love about it,
sitting
man?
back
That it's
and-
That's
love,
crazy.
though.
See, in the interview, Drake credits Big Sean as the originator of the flow. And he also says that other rappers in the game have copied Big Sean's flow and are now using it wrong, namely Ludacris. But the thing is, Big Sean did not really invent this flow. If you listen to Bugging Out by a Tribe Called Quest, you can clearly hear this flow being used. So Big Sean was not the originator of the flow. So Ludacris hears that Drake is talking crazy about him in interviews. And the thing is, Big Sean backs Drake's comments up and says that other rappers are not using his flow correctly. So with all of this information, Luda drops a diss track aimed at both Big Sean and Drake called Bada Boom. And on the song, Luda basically sons Drake and Big Sean by basically referring to them as kids in the rap game that don't know what they're talking about.
11 years and still counting, and y'all get a couple of hit records, make some noise, and have the nerve to start shouting.
So the song comes out and Big Sean's like, whoa. Yo, bro, I'm sorry, man. Like, I take everything back. Like, you're the man. I roll out, you know. I roll out. Yeah, you're the man. Right? Big Sean backpedals. And it becomes very clear that he wants no smoke with Ludacris. Drake, on the other hand, drops a song called How About Now, and in the song he mentions Ludacris, talking about how he would play his songs for his girl, and his girl would be like, ugh, what is this? Can you put on some Ludacris now? Right? And the thing is, that very same girl is Luda's ex, Candace Henry. So yeah, Drake was once again trying to use females as weapons in his beef against other artists. So at this point, it looks like there's a potential beef brewing between Drake and Ludacris. But then Drake runs into Ludacris behind the scenes and he's like, I'm sorry for what I said earlier, man. Like, I didn't really mean what I said. You're a legend, blah, blah, blah. And then Ludacris is like, okay, cool. I accept your apology. But you have to apologize publicly as well. So, the 2017 Billboard Music Awards come around and Drake gets up on stage and publicly apologizes to Ludacris, ending their attention publicly.
I want to say, Ludacris, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but I've always been a big fan of yours, man. I got a lot of love for you. I want to let you know that face to face while I'm still here.
And that's how the whole beef was resolved. Okay, so what do we know so far? Big Sean got signed to Good Music, he dropped an album, he had a little beef with Ludacris, right? So 2012 comes around, and Big Sean appears on Good Music's Cruel Summer compilation album. He appears on two huge singles, namely Mercy and Click.
I'm in that 2C limbo with your girl, she trying to jerk me.
Big Sean then appears on features like My Homie Still with Wayne and Justin Bieber's 5 times platinum As Long As You Love Me.
As long as you love me, we could be starving, we could be homeless, we could be broke.
But it was finally getting time for Big Sean to drop album number 2. So he dropped a single to prepare the fans for it, one called Guap that doesn't really do very well, and then he finally drops his second album called Hall of Fame. Now this album should have really been called Hall of Shame because it became one of Big Sean's biggest flops of his career. Initially, when Hall of Fame came out, it sold about 70,000 copies in the first week, and then in the next week, sales tanked dramatically. Nonetheless, I like the album, and it contains one of my favorite Big Sean songs called Beware.
You should beware, beware, beware of a woman with a broken heart.
Now, Hall of Fame might not have been a very significant album, but it is important for one reason. It helped to change the landscape of hip-hop, indirectly. And I'll tell you why. So one day, Big Sean was working on his album. So he says, I like the album so far, but there's something missing. I know. What if I get Kendrick on this beat? So Big Sean sends Kendrick the beat, hoping that Kendrick jumps on it, and the song ends up on his album. Now we all remember what happened. Control came out, everybody was talking about it because Kendrick name dropped Drake, Mac Miller, J. Cole, and a bunch of his peers. It was a career-defining moment for Kendrick, and it let the rest of the world know that competition was back on the table.
And that goes for Jamaica, Big Crit Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, A$AP Rocky, Drake.
Now the thing is, before the song comes out, Big Sean had to make a decision. He was like, I don't think I can put this out, dog. I have to delete this shit. What the fuck? Alright, Big Sean knew that that song was no longer his. It was now Kendrick's song. So he put the song out anyway, and he did not include it on his album. Now in interviews, people are like, yo, Big Sean, how do you feel about Kendrick murdering you on your own song? Right? So Big Sean says, nah, it's cool, it's just friendly competition, I was just putting it out for the culture. And then he says that he has no bad blood or any animosity towards Kendrick. Okay.
I put that work in. Like, you're not gonna disrespect me. I hop on any track with anybody, and I will not only stand my own, you gonna know that it's my verse, and you gonna know
That's what I like.
in it.
Except for Control. Kendrick watched you on Control.
No, stop it.
Sean, come on now. Come on now.
But the thing is, Big Sean does another interview. And in the interview, he says he didn't want to put the song on his album because it was too negative. Shortly after this, Big Sean freestyles over Beyonce's Me, Myself, and I. And it contains lines that were directed at Kendrick. Allegedly.
Rappers who was killing shit, lately I can't feel that shit. Y'all used to didn't feel my shit, and now y'all like, y'all hear this?
Then Big Sean appears on another track called No More Interviews, and more lines are directed at Kendrick. Now at this point, Kendrick hadn't really addressed Big Sean, and the whole thing seemed like a one-sided affair. Until Kendrick dropped the Hot Part 4. And this one is very subliminal, but it's clearly directed at Big Sean.
My fans can't wait for me to sun your punk ass and crush your whole little shit. I'll big pun your punk ass, you a scared little bitch.
Then Kendrick and Big Sean appear on DJ Khaled's Holy Key together, and Big Sean's flow sounds suspiciously similar to Kendrick's. He also raps.
Whoa, I hear a little bit of me and all your favorite rappers. You know it's true, bitch, I need respect, dude.
Kendrick also drops Humble, and the chorus of the song is basically Kendrick telling Big Sean that, look, you're not on my level, just stop.
Sit down.
So this whole subliminal warfare goes on for a while. There's a lot of back and forth between the two, subliminally, but then Big Sean reveals on Joe Budden's Pull-Up series that he reached out to Kendrick Lamar to squash the beef. He even drops a song called Deep Reverence featuring Nipsey Hussle, and on the song he says that he has no real issues with Kendrick. So in essence, Big Sean didn't want that smoke. Now let's go back to around 2014. In this year, Big Sean drops one of the biggest songs of his career called I Don't Fuck With You.
I don't fuck with you.
Now at this point, there's a lot of hype behind Big Sean, because if you remember correctly, he dropped an album 1 year prior to this, and it didn't do very well. So Big Sean was back. His single was doing numbers, it was getting played everywhere, and with perfect timing, Big Sean drops his album Dark Sky Paradise, and it features some of the biggest singles of his career. I'm talking about Blessings with Drake and Kanye, I Don't Fuck With You, the platinum One Man Can Change the World, and Play No Games with Chris Brown.
Way up, I feel blessed.
It all goes back to the song Blessings. Everything goes back to like something to do with Drake. I mean, not to be funny, but it's just like the obsession. It was me and Drake. It was me and Drake. My album was immediately due that day. I played him, I had been playing him the music, played him the final album. He said he heard Blessings and said, I have to be on here. And I was like, bro, I already got you on 2 songs on my album. He hopped on 2 other songs already on Dark Sky. So that would have been 3 songs he's on the album. He's I need to be on this record. Like, bro, my pre-order goes up tomorrow. He's like, we about to do it right now. And I helped him write his verse for the song.
So now Big Sean is at the height of his career. He went from rapping in front of Kanye at a radio station to making songs with him and Drake. So with this newfound fame and prominence, Big Sean used his powers for evil and essentially wrecked a relationship. Allegedly. So in August 2016, Jhené Aiko files for divorce from her husband, Dot the Genius. But the thing is, about 2 months prior to this, while performing their collaboration On The Way, Big Sean and Jhené Aiko end up locking lips on stage. And this has people going, hold on, isn't Jhené married right now? And the thing is, technically Jhené was still married to Dr. Genius, but according to her, the relationship was over at this point and not worth saving. So yeah, that's how Big Sean and Jhené Aiko's romance began. Full of love, beats, and just a sprinkle of infidelity. You know, couple goals. And I have to say allegedly there, you know. Now one thing that adds more wood to the fire is the fact that Jhené Aiko and Big Sean went on a date around 2012. Big Sean took Jhené Aiko to the Lakers game, so there was already chemistry between these two dating back to 2012. But I'll leave it there for you guys to ponder on. So after dropping Dark Sky Paradise, Big Sean is on fire. He drops an album with his girlfriend Jhené Aiko called 2088. Big Sean then went on to drop Bounce Back, one of his highest charting singles to date. Then around 2017, Big Sean drops another commercially successful album called I Decided.
Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back. Wake up every morning, by the night I count stack.
Big Sean then drops an album with Metro Boomin called Double or Nothing, and shortly after this album comes out, he takes an unofficial hiatus from music. And this is where Big Sean's career begins to decline a bit. So Big Sean is on a hiatus, but he's a musician, and he has to stay relevant by dropping content. So he drops another album called Detroit 2, which peaks at number 1 on the Billboard 200, selling about 100,000 copies in the first week. Okay, so yes, Big Sean is back, right? Not quite. Even though the album performs relatively well, Big Sean leaves Kanye's Good Music the next year. So at this point, people are confused. They're like, hold on, why did you leave Kanye, the guy who signed you? But in the same year that Big Sean leaves Good Music, Kanye does an interview with Drink Champs and airs out Big Sean. He essentially says that signing Big Sean to Good Music was one of the worst moves he ever made.
Man. Pusha or Big Sean? Oh, I love this. Let me tell you. I already decided. When I die, on my tombstone, it's gonna say, I deserve to be here because I signed Big Sean.
So Big Sean hears the interview and he's like, I was just talking to you yesterday, bro. I thought we were cool. So about 2 months after Kanye's Drink Champs episode, Big Sean gets on the podcast as well and airs out Kanye. According to him, Kanye signed him to a bad contract and the label owed him millions of dollars that he'll probably never get to see.
And he owes you $6 million? Can y'all ever have a genuine relationship?
Well, he doesn't owe me the money anymore. It got resolved. But
oh, he paid you?
Someone paid me. I guess it was him. But
word.
Yeah, but I took a little less than I just wanted to end it instead of going to court for some shit over it.
So yeah, Big Sean was going through label issues, and that's probably why his career slowed down a little bit. He also started raising a family with Jhené Aiko. But on the musical front, Big Sean just dropped an album. So we'll finally get to see if leaving Good Music was the right move for him. Before this, Big Sean's last album came out in 2020, and from what I've seen, taking a large gap like that in between albums, especially in today's climate, is not the best move in the world. But Big Sean does have a loyal fan base, and he has been popping around everywhere these days, so the man is clearly up to something. Big Sean gets about 30 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and his most listened to songs currently are Toby with Eminem, Feels with Pharrell and Katy Perry, I Don't Fuck With You, I Know, and Beware. That's it for me, it's your boy Ali. What happened to Big Sean in your opinion? Let me know down below. Also add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music. Till next time, peace.